The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.
Brandon Flowers, you beautiful man.
Hello.
Oh, mate, thank you so much for this. Thank you. I've got a photo here. I'm just looking at Brandon. I first got to interview you December 16, 2004. You look so young.
His name was Fitzy, Brandon. You remember him?
Fitzy, yeah.
You remember Fitzy? Tall guy, 6'6", played a bit of footy, had sort of thinning hair at the time.
Yeah.
You remember him?
Oh, yeah, Sits. I call him Sits.
The Fits. Yeah.
Mates, best mates.
Well, actually, just on the footy theme as well, I still think, Brandon, I got to take my son in 2017 because my team was playing that year in the grand final. Unfortunately, we lost to Richmond and you played, but I still think the Killers were the greatest AFL entertainment that we had.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy that gig?
I did. It's sort of equivalent to our Super Bowl in America, but there's not as many bells and whistles for the performers,
No.
and it's out in the daylight, so it's you better be ready. And it just kind of went by so quickly, but it was like a little bit of a dream. But I loved it, and we paid a little tribute to Midnight Oil, and it was a treat.
Brandon, because the thing is too, I think some bands and some artists see those sorts of gigs because they're world stage in a sense risky, because if things don't go to plan, like Meatloaf, I don't know if you've heard of his performance, it was a bit out of whack. If it doesn't go to plan, you can very quickly become sort of a running joke within the country. And we love Meatloaf, but thank God you nailed it.
It was, we were made aware of some past performances, and
It was amazing because he was out in the crowd as well. He was dealing with the crowd, but you guys were unbelievable. You also got, Jack Rewott, who played in the game, he got up and performed with you as well. Early days of the Killers, did you, when you first started, back in the noughties, were the crowd coming up onto stage with you and jumping into the mosh pit and doing that kind of stuff with smaller gigs, Brandon?
no, not a lot, really. No. I guess we weren't accommodating enough to our fans, but yeah, that was a rare occurrence for somebody who's able to come up and do something like that.
We loved it.
But you would say, you see some of the side shows at Splendour in the Grass Fits, and they can often get out of control if they're at a pub or something like that. Have you had shows where it does get out of control, Brandon, when you were sort of starting out and they were smaller stages and smaller sets?
Yeah, there was a lot more, physicality and the sweat in a small room, and you're right in each other's faces, and I enjoy those kind of moments, and going back and trying to play small shows every now and then, because that's where our roots are. But we're sort of in a bubble now, and there's a lot of separation. So I do long for those moments.
Why I think you are one of the greatest live acts in the world at the moment is because of you. You're the ultimate entertainer. You run from one side of the stage to the other, Brandon. You must be absolutely. It's a great workout for 2 hours for you up there performing the whole time. I see you as the ultimate rock star in my eyes. I wanted to ask you though, when you have 3 children and you are a rock star, and people are coming up and asking for photos and autographs, how do the kids perceive Dad? Do they see that side of you at all, Brandon?
Yeah, it's a funny one. Yeah, I think it's sometimes takes them by surprise, and we kind of forget. But they're grown accustomed to it, and they're polite, and they just kind of step off to the side, and it may be a part of dinner every now and then, or walking down the street, but it's never been the hindrance for them or anything like that.
I think their first gig was 2017. Was it Wembley Stadium? Was when you took the kids for the first time, so they would have seen a huge crowd. Did that freak them out?
Yeah, it was a lot for them to take in. They're just now getting to that age where they're making it through the entire show without having to go to bed.
That's fine. What?
So it's exciting.
Brandon, what do you say to them? And when we're in a similar situation, you're on the world scale with your music, and I host Riddle Time on the radio show here, and a couple of other really catchy games. But
You're nowhere near the rock star that he is.
do
mate.
you talk to the kids about fame and what it means? Do you say, don't say that Dad does this, or fame doesn't mean anything. At home is what means the most. Do you try and chat to them about that?
I think I try to do that with the way that the way that we live at home, and,
Yes.
and we I don't really self-aggrandize or glorify it. I try to just let them know that that's just what I've been lucky enough to have be my job, and we try to make home life as normal as we can.
Yeah, heading back, we are so excited at the end of the year for this Imploding the Mirage Tour 2022. Your affinity that you've had with Australia over the years, is it one of your favourite places to visit when you do your world tour, Brandon?
It really is. It's so hard because people probably think I say that about every country that I go to, but we've been coming here since I think 2004.
Yeah, right.
And it's always been summertime, and it's always just been the people have been great, and we've had great shows here, and a lot of the bands that influenced us come from here. So I think there's this, there's something between us. And we absolutely love coming here.
Have you been told by the record company, this is how much Australia loves you, but Mr. Brightside came out in 2003. It's still number 28 on the Australian charts.
I heard that yesterday.
It's number 28 on the Australian charts, and we are talking, 19 years later. That must blow your mind. That must blow your mind.
We loved the song, and we always believed in it, but we didn't know that it would become what it's become, and it's sort of out of our hands now. And it's an amazing, every band wants to be a part of something like that, whether they admit it or not. And it's an incredible, it really is.
You're very humble, Brandon. It's bloody a massive achievement, mate.
It's huge.
It's phenomenal.
Actually, talking of new songs, you got a brand new one out. It's called Boy. It's out this Friday. Let's have a listen to it.
Untouched. 16. Don't overthink it, boy. White arrows will break the black night. But don't overthink it, boy.
Is this you? Are we going back to Brandon as a young boy? Is this where the lyrics come from?
Yeah. People always talk about, what advice would you give, yourself at a younger age, and I always get stumped on it. I think it's because I need more time to speak sometimes, and I do that with the songs, and so it's kind of an interesting song to write. I also have a son he's just turned 15, and he's kind of reminding me of myself, and it was interesting to be able to write a song that was almost to myself and to my son.
But in a special way too, that needs to be the key message that I think a lot of people are trying to put out there. So the timing of this song is perfect because you're now old enough to reflect, and that's a key message for all kids, in this world that's quite intense, not to overthink things and back that you're good enough and you are who you are, and that's perfect.
Right. Yeah, there's so much coming at us all the time, and this new generation is experiencing things that I couldn't have even imagined, even in the 90s. And so it's I think it does have a tenderness to it.
Well, you are playing Kudos Bank Arena Monday 19th of December. Tickets are on sale now. FrontierTouring.com. You can get them there, mate. We love you, mate. You are the ultimate entertainer. We love the Killers, and we love you here in Australia. We appreciate your time, Brandon.
Oh, thank you so much. Thanks.
No worries. We'll
Thanks,
see you
buddy.
soon. Thanks, mate.
The Fitzy and Wippa podcast.